Admittedly, I haven't played a lot of Aurora versus Fang, but from what I can tell, Fang's game plan is pretty much the same no matter what's going on. They're trying to set up those 3 fealty tokens as fast as possible, either through reactions that mark us or through reactions that create fealty tokens. I've even seen a couple of lists that are playing like Sharpened Senses, which sets up for a pretty neat combo turn where you can push quite a bit of damage. From Aurora's side, we're really looking to utilize as much Arcane as we can. A lot of Fang decks aren't packing Arcane Barrier into us, which I'm not really sure if it's correct or not. I haven't played enough Fang to tell you. But what I can tell you is that when they don't bring in Arcane, we are going to abuse it, either through Arc Lightning, Burn Up and Shock, or Grasp of the Arknight. But we also have cards like Sigil of Suffering and Shelter from the Storm to help us play defense and try to turn some good defensive turns into a lot of offense and putting our opponent on the back foot. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. All right, we're playing against Fang, and we are going second. It is worth noting that our opponent chose to go first. I'm assuming they're wanting to set up. They're looking to try and set up some of the fealty tokens is really all I can come up with. Just what makes sense to me. I think I'm going to block with a Lightning Surge. And then I assume our opponent's going to have a reaction here. I am going to block with Sigil of Suffering because this will push this over the top. We will get to deal an arcane damage to them because our opponent is not running Arcane Barrier. And we still end up taking 1 here. Big Sag. I guess we could have double blocked, but I don't know. The concern there is that they have like a Pledge Fealty or something, and we don't really have the ability to like get the value we want. I think we want to arsenal the Arc Lightning, I guess, is where we want to be. I could arsenal the Burn Up and Shock here since the Snatch already has an on-hit effect. That's probably a better play. So let's go ahead and play the Arc Lightning. We'll deal an arcane damage. We will throw Snatch for 4 go again. This probably gets blocked by some equipment here. Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's not really much I can do about it. So we're going to deal an arcane, and then it's going to be Fry for 3 go again and 1 arcane. Probably no blocks here if I had to guess. We end up putting our opponent down to 33, and I'm going to arsenal the Burn Up and Shock and just wait for next turn. We could have played the Burn Up and Shock to try and get more value there. Okay, a pretty good turn here from our opponent. Let's see. And when this hits, so this is coming in for 6. I would go to 33 basically, and they would get a marked token, or they would get a fealty token. I don't think this is worth jamming equipment in front of just yet. I do think we're probably going to get pretty aggressive with our turn next turn. We have a Channel Lightning Valley and a Burn Up and Shock, so I'm going to look to get pretty aggressive here. I could give up the Arcanic Shockwave and the Carapace to deny this value here, because it doesn't look like our opponent's going to have go again after this. So if I block with Shockwave and Grasp, I think I would rather just go to 28. I hate to give them a second fealty token, but I think our hand just plays offense too well, and we just need to get aggressive here. So we're going to go Channel Lightning Valley, and then we're going to play both sides of Burn Up and Shock. This is going to deal 1 damage to them, and we're going to draw a card. Shelter from the Storm isn't exactly what I had in mind. I think we can go Arcanic Shockwave, fuse with Gone in a Flash, pitch Gone in a Flash to Starfall, and then play Static Shock. We'll have to use the Snapdragon Scalers here to get aggressive, which I think is fine. We're pretty much just going to use the snaps no matter what this turn, and we're going to plan to arsenal the Shelter from the Storm. I am pretty surprised to see how much equipment my opponent's willing to give me here on just the second turn of the game, but I assume that they're thinking they just need to block everything they can, and they're just going to play their big hands and just try to push their tempo. Interesting. All right, and then Static Shock on the end is for 4 and 1 arcane if it hits. So this is going to put our opponent down to 20. We do have an 8-point lead with a Shelter and Arsenal, but they have a 5-card hand, which is pretty scary. We're probably going to use Crown to put the Static Shock to the bottom because we don't really have a way to generate Go Again. I'm just going to go ahead and block with Crown, and we're just going to put the Static Shock on the bottom. Drawing into the second strike means that we can pretty much guarantee Go Again with an embodiment, or I'm sorry, with a Rune Chant. I can't think of the word right now. With a Rune Chant. We're going to take 2. I don't see a reason to do anything there. I'm going to say no blocks here, and then we're going to play the Shelter from Arsenal here. Endear Devotion puts this up to 5. This card's really powerful. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Shelter from the Storm here. They may have a Command and Conquer after this. I'm not sure what they want to follow this up with. At the start of your turn, destroy this. You may attack. With each dagger, you control an additional time. Okay, so they're like looking to like... This feels like a lot like the combo variation of what they're doing. I'm going to play Entwine Lightning, and I'm going to fuse with the Current Funnel. I'm going to do this because it gives our opponent a chance for us to deal damage turning on the second strike, meaning we don't have to do anything here, which could really line up for us. We've already hit, so I think here's what we're going to do. We're going to go second strike for 4 Go Again. This is going to be kind of a weird turn because it's really going to be more of a setup turn than anything. We're going to go Starfall for 2 Go Again. This is going to put our opponent down to 10. We're going to activate Aurora, and then we're going to activate Grasp so that we can have a Rune Chant set up for next turn. We're keeping our channel around, and then we're arsenaling a good 0 for 4. Now, this hand is very, very powerful. Whenever you attack with a weapon, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay, so they're clearly looking to attack a bunch of times this turn and just deal like a ton of damage. We could block and somersault this turn if we want to, but I don't think that's correct. I think we have a pretty good hand, and I don't really think there's a reason to use the somersault here. I am just going to put Grasp in front. We're just going to block 2. They're going to play something to give it Go Again. We're going to take some number of damage, and we're going to give them the fealties here, but we've had such an aggressive start that I think we're actually okay. Affirm Loyalty is pretty good. I mean, they're setting up the marks. They're doing all the things right now. I'm sitting here doing the math, wondering, can they kill me with me at 13? I don't think so. They're coming in for 3 right here, and then they have a card in hand. I don't think they can kill me, so we're just going to say no blocks. Flight Path gives it Go Again, so we go to 10. And then they're going to throw the 1 for 5 at me. So now we are in a world where they could kill us with a card. So I think we're just going to play it like this. I was like, the Hunt's End could very well kill us if we said no blocks. Wow, they actually threatened, what? They threatened like 28 or 30 that turn. It was a pretty good turn. So I think we're going to go ahead and put the Lightning Surge in the bottom, and we're going to lead on drawing a card here. We're going to draw a new card, and then we draw into a second strike. This hand is absolutely crazy. So our opponent's going to say no blocks. In the resolution step, we're going to get our E-Strike back. And then it's going to be Lightning Surge for 4. They have to give us a card right here. There are no other options. This is lethal. Technically, they could give us the chess piece and go to 1, but I don't think that's correct. Second strike for 4 means that they are required to give us 2. Oh, yeah, all 2 blocks here. Yeah, we've got this one locked up this turn. So this is going to be Ravenous Rabble for 4. There's a Somersault on top, which is awesome. Does our opponent have a no block? Okay, they realized that they weren't going to be able to block the rest of the way out. we were going to be able to follow that up with E-Strike for 7, which was going to guarantee that we closed the game out that turn. The start of this game was a real mix of emotions because on turn 0, our opponent was able to mark us and push through a point of damage, which was less than ideal because I was really hoping that with the defense reaction, we were going to be able to get a lot of value and slow them down to prevent them from marking us. But however, even though we were marked going through turn 0, on our first turn, we drew into the Arc Lightning, which allowed us to throw the Snatch, get multiple pieces of equipment, and push some of that split arcane damage to put us in a good spot, especially after we arsenal the burn up and shock for our next turn. On my opponent's second turn of the game, you hear me going back and forth about whether I should block with one of my attacks and Grasp of the Arknight to deny my opponent the extra fealty token, but we had a pretty good turn with the Burn Up and Shock and the Channel Lightning Valley, so I decided to be more aggressive, and this really panned out for me because I would have been banking on drawing into another 0 for 4 to really try to continue to play offense with, but drawing into the Shelter from the Storm worked out perfectly. We were able to push through the Burn Up and Shock on hit effect, push through some arcane damage, and then Arsenal Shelter from the Storm with Channel in play for the next turn, putting us in an amazing spot. Turn 4 might not have been the most explosive turn I've ever played with Aurora, but it was a really good setup turn. My opponent let Entwine Lightning hit very early on, which drew us into a second blue, meaning that we didn't have to use our current funnel to activate Grasp of the Arknight to be able to turn on our second strike, which allowed us to pitch 2 blues, keep our Channel Lightning Valley around, arsenal a Lightning Surge, and go into the next turn with an embodiment of lightning and a rune chant, pretty much meaning if our opponent wasn't going to kill us, we were going to slam the door shut quick. My opponent's turn 4 shows how explosive Fang can really be, because we were at 25, we fell all the way down to 2, and we blocked 6, meaning our opponent had a 29-point turn, which is really good and did make me sweat a little bit. There was some consideration to putting the E-Strike and a Lightning Surge in front of one of the attacks and then somersaulting them back, but when I saw that we couldn't die even to the Endear Devotion on the last chain link, I knew that we were good to keep our card and just do everything we could to end the game. Even though our opponent ended up not blocking out, the Enlightened Strike was going to slam the door shut no matter what happened. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.